Really good. How are you?
Really good. Welcome back to our second Zoom.
Yeah, it's so good that we can do this now, isn't it?
I know. And by popular request, I'm going to cover today when and why and how do you apply your vitamin C.
And I've had a lot of requests, Fiona, about people using primers. They're still getting really greasy eyelids. So how to keep your eyeshadow staying on, looking gorgeous, and not getting greasy or separating throughout the day. So if you're happy, that's what I'm going to go through.
Amazing. So should we get started with skincare first?
Definitely, I will take your lead.
Right. I'm going to put my fringe back so that I'm all good to go. So I'm all cleansed. Are you?
I'm all cleansed, ready to go.
First step, hyaluronic acid.
Yep, I've got mine here.
Amazing. So we're both using the SOS H20, which has got pure hyaluronic acid in it. So that's your first step after cleansing. And this is perfect if you've got a dehydrated skin. We're both using this because we're wrinkle phobics, aren't we?
Yeah, I am wrinkle phobic.
So this is going to draw in that moisture, but also really help to plump up the appearance of lines and wrinkles.
Do we use this morning and night, Fiona?
You can use it. In this situation, we're just using it in the morning because we're going to be using our retinols at night time, but you can actually use it morning and night. Now we're going to go for a little spritz. Lovely.
Which one are you using?
I'm using the La Roche-Posay, the Tolerant Ultra 8. What one are you using?
This is just the Fenty Beauty Hydrating Spray.
Ah, lovely. Now what that does is spraying after hyaluronic acid is it really draws in more moisture, so it really helps support the action of the plumping of the hyaluronic acid. So now we're all good to go with vitamin C. Now vitamin C was the request that we got asked a lot about: when to apply it, how do I apply it, why should I apply it? So vitamin C is probably one of the most powerful antioxidants. So it actually helps support your skin and protects your skin. It also stimulates your collagen, it's always a good thing, but it also stops any pigmentation from coming up to the surface and forming in clusters. So if you've got any pigmentation that you really want to lighten, use vitamin C in the day, and then we can use other treatments at night time.
Okay, cool.
Have you got vitamin C there, SJ?
I've got the Organic Pharmacy Stabilized Vitamin C Serum, and that is a 15%.
Perfect. So 15% is probably the highest I would go in the day. And I've got 12.5%, and I've got Kiehl's, which is a line reducing concentrate as well as a vitamin C. And you will find that vitamin C is largely associated with anti-aging, which is brilliant for the lines and the wrinkles.
Okay.
So on that, so in your routine, you'll notice that this is going on over the top of hyaluronic acid. So that is key because hyaluronic acid is going to help to really pull down the vitamin C into the skin. And then you'll put your moisturizer and your other products on. But if you're not using hyaluronic acid, then pop it on straight after cleansing.
Okay, cool.
So, and you'll find that this will give you a real brightness and radiance. People will really comment on, oh, what are you using on your skin? Because vitamin C just really kind of brings lots of luminosity to the skin. So it's a great pre-makeup product to use as well. Something that I know you need us to do because of something you're going to do in the makeup is lip balm.
Yep. Well, we just want our lips to be nice and soft, ready for any makeup, actually. Any lip, really. I think it's good to get into the habit when you do skincare, always do your balm, because then when you come to your lipstick, your lips are nice and soft and subtle. Nothing worse is there than going to put a liner on or a lipstick and your lips are all dry. So perfect prep.
Yeah. That's so true. I mean, I'm really good at lip balms at night time. I'm always there, always by my bedside table. I'm always putting them on, but you're absolutely right, for the day. It's really key. So we're just going to let that vitamin C go in. So we've done our lips, and now we're going to do our eyes.
Okay.
So it's a good way to kind of alternate and just allow product to kind of just absorb into the skin. You know, you can go and brush your teeth or go make yourself a cup of tea in between layering, but ideally you do want to give yourself a little chance for those products to work in. So I always really like it when you put something on, then go and do something around the eyes, because then that gives that few minutes for it to absorb. And we're both using our ring finger. Very good, SJ.
I'm just copying you.
And I like to just go underneath the eyebrows and give myself a little eyebrow lift. I just like to push underneath the eyebrows just pushing them up. And then I just like to circle on those crow's feet.
Yeah.
Get that product into the lines and the wrinkles. Okie dokie.
That eye cream that you'd recommend, or?
So I'm actually using the Lavender Fine Lift and Firm eye cream. It's actually called the Plum eye cream. And I really like that because it has a line fill complex as well as a lifting complex as well. So I really like that. What one are you using?
I've got the Origins one, which I'm just
nice.
out. It's for brightening and depuffing.
Ooh, nice. So now we're going to put on just a couple of drops of facial oil.
Okay.
And the reason why we're going to use, and it sounds like we're doing a lot of layers, but what we've done is we've applied hydrating serums. So like the SOS H20, that was a hydrating serum. Now what we need to do is we need to seal everything in, because the last thing we want to do is everything to evaporate. Okay. So that's why it's great. It's sealing in the moisture and really giving that moisturizing action to the skin. So I think, which one are you using?
I've got my FaceMatters Skin Health Face Food Serum.
Oh, nice.
And you?
I'm using the Decleor Lavender Fine Aroma Essence, which is targeting the appearance of lines and wrinkles and loss of firmness, because I'm greedy and I want it all. Right, so put me a little bit of moisturizer. Now here you can either put your SPF on. If your SPF's got lots of moisturizing action as well and you find that that's enough, then that's brilliant. We're actually recording this in the evening, so actually we don't need to worry about our SPF. But if we were applying it in the morning, we would always obviously put an SPF on. And even if we were staying indoors and we were working on our computers with the window by the side, we'd still always put an SPF on. But because it's nearly dark, we're not going to put an SPF on. We are literally going to pop some moisturizer on, and then we are ready
to rumble.
And I know as a makeup artist, you always say that, you know, skincare prep is key for you to get that kind of flawless, even look when you're applying your foundation.
Absolutely. And to be quite honest, I always thought I was quite thorough with my skincare until I met you. And now my makeup looks so much better on myself. And, you know, we'll look better even on my clients when we're allowed out of the house again, because I've learned so much.
Yeah, it's really good to kind of get all that moisture in the skin, because actually that's what's going to give you all that hydration and all that moisture throughout the day underneath your makeup and keep your makeup looking really fresh and dewy and flawless.
Nice. And remember you recommended this one for me because it's very, very calming, because my skin was really red and angry, wasn't it? And you recommended the Ren one, the Evercalm, and I'm really loving it. So thank you for that recommendation.
That's so good. That's got blackcurrant seed in it, and blackcurrant seed really reduces all the redness. It's beautiful, that one.
I've noticed such a difference, so thank you. Okay, is that all of our skincare?
That is all of our skincare.
Well, I'm loving it already. I feel like I don't want to put any makeup on. I'd probably just be happy to kind of be ready for bed now, but let's go ahead and put on our lovely base to begin with. I think we're both going to use our favourite IT Cosmetics, or one of our favourites, aren't we? And this is Your Skin But Better. It's the CC, it's the SPF 50. You don't need a primer with this because it's got amazing coverage. It stays on beautifully throughout the day. And we just love it because it gives us great coverage, a dewy look, but we never look heavily made up in it, do we, Fiona?
We're both using the same. I think we are, aren't we? We're both using light.
Yeah, I must admit, sometimes when I can get away with mixing fair to light and light, but because my skin's warmed up just a tiny bit with this lovely weather we've been having, even though I've had my SPF 50 on, it has gone a tiny bit more golden, so I think I can get away with the light on its own at the moment. And I know, do you sometimes jump down to the medium as well?
I don't tend to. I tend to stay. My skin doesn't actually... I think because I walk around with a massive hat, sunglasses, and I just avoid the sun. So I tend to... But I just love the fact, I know it says it's full coverage, but I think you're in control of it, and I don't particularly like a full coverage, but I do like this coverage. I feel that I could, if I wanted to, actually I could probably get it even heavier if I wanted to.
You definitely could, because I know there's a lot of people that have rosacea that use this and they get amazing coverage. But the thing I love about this is I've just used it really lightly with my fingers today, just for a beautiful light coverage. And I can still see my freckles on my forehead, but it's covered my redness, it's covered my pigmentation, it's covered all the things I want to cover, but left everything else that I kind of don't really want to hide. Okay, let's move on to our concealer. We're both going to use the Bye Bye Under Eye, which is also by It Cosmetics. Now, if you've got any redness in your skin, rosacea, acne, scarring, anything like that, even though it's called Bye Bye Under Eye, we both recommend this for anything where you need quite good coverage. Sometimes I even have to water it down a bit with my eye cream when I'm using it around the eye. What we love to do, and Rose Gallagher, who's the brand ambassador for It Cosmetics, I know she taught you this tip, didn't she, Fiona? Pop a little bit on the back of your hand. I'm using 2 different shades, so I'm going to mix 2 together. I think, Fiona, you're using the medium or the light?
Medium, but interesting, I was using the light,
Yeah.
but actually I think it was too light, and I kind of had, you know, where it becomes, where here almost becomes like a mask because it's so obviously too light. And I don't think it looked very natural. I know it's meant to brighten, isn't it? But I think you can have it too light, can't you?
Yeah, and a concealer, you know, sometimes we're using it to brighten and sometimes we're using it to get a really, really good coverage. And if we're needing it for coverage where the skin is perhaps a little bit uneven in texture, then what we don't want to do is highlight that uneven texture. And using something that's going to be too bright for us will just add a highlight to uneven texture. So it's important then to use something that's a similar tone to your skin. But then when it comes to around the eyes, I sometimes like to brighten a bit. I've gone for light and light fair. And if I'm honest, I think I'm just light at the moment. The fair is too pale for me. So I'm just going to top that up a tiny bit more. The other tip, if you do go too pale with your concealer, just get a little bit of whatever foundation you used, pop a tiny bit and mix it in, and that's going to give you a little bit more of a shade match to the foundation on your face.
I loved your tip about putting some eye cream in. I really love that. I think that's such a good tip because sometimes you just want more of a natural kind of dewy look underneath the eyes, don't you?
Yeah, especially when your face is looking pretty good, but you just want a tiny bit of coverage, perhaps for dark circles or a bit of a redness, then yeah, mixing a bit of the eye cream, that's a really, really good tip. Just want to pop a couple of dots either side of the nose. I'm just using my fingers today. What, you're using fingers too? Yeah.
Yeah, I have actually, because you taught me that the fingers really kind of help warm the product up and kind of push the product in so that it kind of is more, I'm not sure I'm explaining it right, you explained it brilliantly, but you kind of were like, make sure you really try and push it in, work with it, don't just slap it on and leave it, which is what I was basically doing.
Yeah, that's right. And pushing it into the areas we need it, because if we're rubbing too much, we're just going to be applying it and taking it off at the same time. Perfect. We all good and concealed?
All good.
Great. I'm just going to cover up that acne scar on my chin. Had that big spot there. Get rid of that. Okay. Just going to take the excess off the back of my hand, otherwise I'm bound to wipe it on myself at some stage. Right, Fiona, what we're going to do, because I had a question about oily eyelids.
Yes.
We're just going to use a little bit of setting powder. I'm just going to use the Charlotte Tilbury one, and we're just going to use a small brush and take this where we've put our concealer, because what I want to do is keep the rest of the face really nice and dewy so it doesn't look too heavy or too matte. You've got your lovely Real Techniques brush there. I'm using a sort of medium-sized Bare Minerals one. You could go smaller or you can go slightly larger, but we're just going to dust this onto our T-zones. Love that one.
Actually, the Real Techniques one it actually does say, I'm actually using the right brush for once. It actually does say brush.
I must admit, I'm always using brushes for probably not what they're made for. It's just kind of, I think it's such a personal thing, isn't it?
I think because I'm not a makeup artist, I'm so aware of, and I know I always ask you, which brush am I meant to be using?
We should do something on brushes at some stage.
Yeah, definitely, because I am that person.
Well, the other thing with powder is kind of press it onto those areas, because if we rub and blend too much or too heavily, what we'll do is we'll end up budging our concealer or our foundation. So just nice pressing movements, and then we can kind of sweep over the top as well. I'm also going to set the eyelids, Fiona, so just using that ring finger to smooth through any concealer on the eyelids before we go in with our powder. Otherwise, we'll be setting our creases. And then underneath the eye as well, ring finger, gently press and roll, sweep up underneath, and just a small amount underneath. I quite often just use the excess, what's left on my brush, rather than going back into the palette, because the last thing we want is any heavy powder sitting in fine lines or wrinkles. It really is just to set that concealer and stop any mascara or eyeliner transferring down the face.
Yeah, because that was something that so many people were saying, how do I stop my eyeliner transferring, my mascara transferring? So
coolio. Let's move on to a little bit of bronzer.
Yes.
I'm going to use the Charlotte Tilbury here.
I'm going to use the Bare Minerals.
Perfect. And we're just going to literally sweep this onto the forehead, down under that cheek, and a little bit right down under our jawline, just to contour that throat and jaw area. As we said before, what we don't want is a tide line. If we go forehead down under the cheek and sweep along here, we're going to get an orange tide line. So it really is under the cheek, under the jaw. Start with a little. We can always come back in and add a little bit more warmth later on, depending on how the finished look looks. Look. And if you want a bit of extra chiseling, just work it into that, under that cheekbone there. But nothing worse than a kind of really obvious line. So just kind of make sure you're really, really blending as you go. And then for a sort of contour, you want to sort of work your bronze into the hairline, because we're slimming the appearance of the complexion by shading the outside contours of the face. All good?
All good.
All good in the hood. Right, should we do, we'll come back to highlighter. I just want to get our brows on.
I'm going to use the Goof Proof Brow Pencil, which I think you've got as well. Yay!
I'm using number 2. What number are you in?
I am number 3, but I don't know if this is actually the right colour for me. So at some point, did I hear you say once you should always go lighter than you actually are?
Yeah, 1 shade lighter than your natural hair colour is good. And then just kind of, that way your brows aren't going to walk into the room 10 minutes before you do. Do you know what I mean?
So then I think I probably am right then, because this is a tad lighter.
That's perfect. And I could probably get away with even going up to shade 1. But they do so many, Benefit are so good at brows, aren't they? They do so many undertones and shades, which I love, because a lot of brands will just do 3 or 4 tones. And sometimes you can find it's a little bit too warm or it's too cool. Whereas Benefit, I mean, they really do pull it out of the bag when it comes to eyebrows.
And I love the fact that they've got, what's that called at the end? The spoolie. Spoolie. I love that name.
Keep it quite natural, Fiona. You know how you like to sort of, because our skin isn't as taut as it used to be, you know how you like to sort of hold the skin when you rub your eye cream in? What I love to do is sort of press here, and then I can work backwards through my natural brow line, and that way the product will grab onto the roots of the lashes and grab onto the skin underneath the brows, brows, and that way you're going to get a really, really nice sort of natural finish. So we're working it fluffy backwards into the natural brow line. I'm not going outside the brow line. You may want to a little bit if you've over plucked back in the day, but if you've got enough brow there and you're happy with the shape, just work with the natural shape of your existing brow.
Love it. Soft, fluffy brows is definitely the way. I'm not sure that my age suits the kind of really kind of chiseled, strong, kind of almost symmetrical, because I guess your eyebrows aren't even symmetrical, are they?
No, not at all. But one day we're going to try microblading.
Yes, we definitely are. That's one of the first things we're doing. And don't forget, we're also going shopping. Yeah, because all the supermarket brands have got some great products. So we're gonna go supermarket shopping for skincare and for makeup, and we're gonna let you know which are the ones that you can save money on by getting the supermarket. Then you can save your money, because there are some things that you can definitely get from the supermarket, makeup and skincare, and then you can save your money and get those other things that are more, mastered and are a better quality with other brands, isn't there? I'd rather save money on cleanser and buy a more, a cleanser that is equally still effective. It's going to remove my makeup and it's going to condition my skin at the same time, but then I can save money and get really good mascaras and things like that. So I'm exactly the same.
Yeah, because we know you have a bit of a penchant for expensive mascaras from Japan. Okay, eyeliner. The whole point of my makeup today was to help ladies that are finding that even with eyelid primers, their eyeshadows are not sticking, not staying on the lids, and the eyes are becoming greasy. So what we're going to do, Fiona, is we're going to do a pretty rough, not very neat line, just along the top of our lashes, quite a thick one, and quite dense. So we're going to go over it a lot of times. And no, we really, really want to cover the skin on the lash line, so we can't see any flesh coming through. So wiggling backwards and forwards into the root of the lashes.
I'm aware I've got my mouth open. Sorry, people. I'm terrible. Mascara, everything. I'm like a fish.
So not too neat, quite a thick line. Fiona's going to try and do it with her mouth shut.
Some people might say that's impossible.
I'm using a black. What are you using?
I'm using a brown. I'm using Bare Minerals, but I was about to say to you, I always love it when we're about to do eyeliners, and I always have to say to you prior to us doing this, I always say, are we doing it neat or are we doing it messy?
We're doing it messy today.
Yeah, we're doing it messy.
Yeah, no tight lines, no fine lines, no flicks. This is going to be the base for our shadows. The only time you get a little bit neat is when I'm going to just show you how to do the inner corner, which is like this. So you're coming on the inside. Why are you laughing at me?
I'm not. I'm like trying to zoom in and go, let me look.
Okay, so we've got a nice coverage. We've come right up underneath to do the inside. I'm going to go underneath at the outside edges. So we don't want to see any skin or flesh. We want to keep it really dark around the lash line. This is going to be a really important base for our shadows. So what we're doing is we're almost using our eyeliner as our primer. Okay, let me know when you're good to go.
I'm good to go.
I'm just going to take a small smudgy eyeshadow brush and we're going to blend that. We're going to keep our brush pretty much just over the top of the line, and we don't want to take it too high. We just want to blend and keep it really, really dark around the lash line. So we're sort of concentrating on just above the lash line, starting to blend there. I'm using a soft, fluffy brush. This is a Bare Minerals one. It's double-ended. It's one of those annoying ones that came in a kit you probably can't get anymore. But if you got this brush in a kit from QVC, it's fabulous.
So I'm using, Bare Minerals at the end of their eyeliners tend to have those little smudgy things. That's what I'm using. Is that okay?
It's okay, yeah. You might find it a bit easier with a fluffy brush, because can you see I'm holding my eye here, Fiona, again, so we can get a nice taut precision, and then we are going sort of.
Okay.
You don't go as high as the crease. You don't go as high as the crease contour. You're just going sort of 3/4 of the way up, so that when I open my eye, you can't see any dark above the crease contour. Can you see it's just dark there?
I have gone to a brush, and actually you're of course you're right. I can't believe I'm even saying, SJ, you're right. A brush is better than the smudgy thing on the end.
You blended?
I think so. I might just put a little bit more closer to the.
Yeah. I'm also going to do the same. I'm going to pick up my liner pencil and get it really nice and dark along that lash line, and then I'm going to blend again, like so. This won't stay looking as dark because we're just using it as our base. I'm going to blend again. If you come too far at the end, just use your finger to do that, or use a little Q-tip to kind of clean up. Keep it nice and clean. Again, just stretch the eyes slightly like so, and then to get the skin taut, unless you're young and you don't need to do that. And then just blend. Now we're going to both pick up a matte shadow. I've got the Neutrals by Bare Minerals. I think you have two, or you could even use a bronzer for this next stage.
Yeah, no, I have two.
Okay, we're just going to take this very matte, kind of neutrally brown tone, and we're just going to dab over the top of our liner. I'm just taking the excess off on the back of my hand because I don't want any fallout, and we're just dabbing. And that is going to set that liner.
Are you using the same brush that you smudge with, or a different brush?
I'm using the other end. So yeah, but just anything sort of small to medium.
Okay.
Crease contour is as high as we'll go, but I'm trying to actually keep it a little bit lower than the crease contour. This is making the eyeliner act as our primer, and then this shadow, we're pressing it in, pressing it in, pressing it in, and what we're doing is we're setting that eyeliner so it will not budge. All good in the hood?
I think so.
So I'm building up gradually, rather than loads on the brush and going straight in. I just keep dabbing the palette, dabbing on the back of the hand, and then just pressing on top until there's no tackiness left in the eyeshadow. That's that done. I'm just going to add a tiny bit more bronzer, Fiona.
Oh yes, I love a bit of more bronzer.
Why not? I don't know if it's this lighting, but I feel a bit too pale now. I've got this dark eye on.
Now, I never was an eyelash curler till you came in my life.
It just makes such a difference.
I was like, do I really need to have them? And now I get it.
And if anyone is thinking about using a lash growth serum, I would say treat yourself to one. Use it for 4 weeks. Make sure you're using a lash curler. Invest in a roller lash from Benefit. And I just think that you will be blown away by the results.
I think, especially if you're using an eyelash curl, especially if you're using an eyelash growth serum, you definitely want something like the eye curlers, because otherwise the lashes just grow, and then they're kind of just sticking out, and you obviously really want them to curl and open your eyes, don't you?
Definitely, and you won't appreciate how much they've grown until you use that lash curler. How are you getting on?
Good. What's the next step? Have I missed it? Am I too busy looking at you and watching what you're doing? Oh, roller lash. So, as you know.
Yeah, go on, go for it while I concentrate on this.
I get melted. I don't know why. And probably because, as you said at the beginning, if you don't prep and you don't put that powder and everything, I do get a lot of mascara transfer. So I was that person. And I found that it was never on the top. I always found it was underneath. Don't know why. So I decided that it was probably because, this was my theory, that I was too chatty, and I use, my eyes, and I'm quite expressive with my eyes. And so I was thinking, actually, I think it's my mascara melting. So then I found this product, which is called Sensei, and it basically won't melt until it's got to a certain temperature, and it really works. I never get that drop off down underneath the eyes. But obviously now I know that there are other techniques, aren't there?
Yeah, but I think that's such a good recommendation, and I can't wait to try that. I will be ordering that. That's definitely on my list of things to try, because I think, there's always days when we get that mascara under the eyes, and I know it's one of my most asked techniques is, how can I stop the transfer of mascara and eyeliner coming down my face? I'm just using a tiny bit of foundation, the It Cosmetics, just to clean up and make sure everything is kind of perfect underneath the eye area. It's always good to come back in if you need to and just pop a little bit more there, or you could do that with your concealer if you wanted to.
I don't think I've ever created a look like this. I've never used eyeliner like that before, and I've never put my eyeliner on first and then put my eyeshadow on over the top.
Do you like it?
I really like it.
Your new on-air look?
Maybe, who knows? Watch this space.
I'm going to watch you on QVC. You're going to have all these different makeup looks that you're going to pull out the bag.
You're like, who's done Fiona's makeup?
They'll think that you've had the junkies in. Not the junkies, the makeup junkies. Sorry, for anyone watching, there's an amazing team of makeup artists who work behind the scenes at QVC, owned by a lovely girl called June, and her company's called Makeup Junkies. So when I said we've had the junkies in, I meant the makeup junkies.
Not the actual junkies.
Oh. So Fiona, now let's go in with a little bit of blusher. I'm using the Sainsbury's Boutique range, and I'm going to go for the soft pink here at the top.
Nice. And I am going with the Charlotte Tilbury, and I think it's the, oh, it's Cheek to Chic, a swish and blow pillow talk.
Love that one. So we're just going to smile slightly at ourselves and then aim for the top kind of right-hand corner of that apple there, just so that it looks like we're naturally blushing. Just a little bit to begin with. You can always build this up and then just blend up what's left on our brush towards the temples. We want to keep it quite soft and natural because we've gone quite strong on the eyes. Even though we haven't really done liner or shadow underneath the eyes, we've still gone for a strong eye look. So just a dusting, like almost a whisper of blush. That looks gorgeous on you. Really.
I think it's really nice to kind of like do your bronzer first and then do, I don't know if that's a technique that you've kind of mastered over the years, but I think that's a much better way to put it on. Otherwise, if you do the other way around, you end up with too much blusher, don't you?
I agree. And also what I tend to do is always do lips. I mean, it doesn't always work like this because sometimes I just need to see some colour in my face, but generally I would always finish with lips and blush. Do you remember we put our lip balm on at the beginning of the session, which I know you always do religiously anyway. The reason for that is it doesn't matter if you're going for a strong lip or you know, a really soft natural lip like a soft pink. You want your lips to look in tip-top condition. That's a gorgeous gloss. What's that one?
That is the Marvelous Moxie.
Oh, I love a Moxie.
Heartbreaker.
And I've got again the Sainsbury's Boutique range, and this is Kiss Me Softly, and I've blended it in. This is what I use this and Dr. Lip when my lips get chapped or dry, and I've actually mixed a little bit of that in with it because I don't want like a full lip. This is kind of like a lip lacquer, whereas your Moxie is quite sheer. I wanted it to look more sheer, so I've mixed it with a little bit of balm, and there we have our look.
Ah, that's brilliant. I love it. I really love the look. I love the fact what we've done with the eyes. I've learnt new tricks. What more can I say? Love it. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I'm absolutely loving all of my skincare. I've never enjoyed skincare as much. I've almost avoided it.
I'm the same with makeup though. I would always do the same look. I would use the same shadow palette. I'm literally was mispredictable. So it's brilliant. So don't forget to send us all your skincare questions so we can include all of those in these Zoom videos.
Absolutely, and all of your makeup questions as well, anything you're struggling with, literally bung your questions below. We are creating lists at the moment, aren't we, and working through them gradually as we go. So thanks so much for watching us again.
And stay safe, everybody. Stay home, stay safe.
Yeah, lots of love. Take care all.
Bye.